You remember in the offseason, Kelsey Mitchell was a free agent. And for a long period of time, I got the sense that she actually came kind of close to not coming back to the Indiana Fever. And I'm going to tell you why. When I watch her play, there's plenty of times I'm like, she thinks she is the superstar on this team.
We've got a full-blown crisis brewing in Indiana. And it didn't start on the court. It started on Facebook. Kelsey Mitchell's sister just ignited a firestorm by throwing serious shade at Caitlin Clark, and now the entire WNBA world is watching. Fans are furious, tensions are rising, and behind the scenes, questions are exploding. Is there real drama inside the Fever locker room? Is Caitlin Clark being targeted by her own teammates' family? Or is this just another example of jealousy rearing its ugly head? Today, we're breaking it all down. The facts, the fallout, and the dangerous ripple effect this could have on a team chasing the playoffs. Buckle up, because this isn't just drama, it's real damage, and it's already begun.
That makes me wonder if we're in a situation where is there some drama in that locker room right now that we didn't know about? I mean, seriously.
The phrase, social media is not a real place, has become a cliche. But in the WNBA this season, it might as well be a war zone. The latest battleground? A seemingly minor comment thread on Facebook that quickly detonated into full-blown controversy for the Indiana Fever. At the center of it, Chelsea Mitchell, twin sister of star guard Kelsey Mitchell, and a post that many fans say crossed the line from opinion to outright disrespect. It started with a Facebook user venting frustrations about the media's focus on Caitlin Clark. The post claimed Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, not Clark, were the true engines of the Fever's offense. That narrative alone was already questionable, but things took a turn when Chelsea Mitchell jumped into the comments and agreed. Her words were brief. "I gotta agree." But in context, they said everything. She publicly co-signed the idea that Caitlin Clark was not the key to the Fever's success, and that, in fact, the team might be better without her. Fans immediately caught wind of the exchange and torched it across social media. Screenshots spread like wildfire. What might have been a minor blip became a trending topic. Analysts weighed in, podcasters reacted, and fans, especially Clark's massive national following, made their fury known. One comment summed up the mood. "This front office allowing this disrespect towards Caitlin is nasty." The implication? That the Fever weren't just letting teammates' family members run wild, they were failing to protect the player who brought their franchise back from irrelevance. To be clear, Kelsey Mitchell herself said nothing disparaging. She's been publicly supportive of Clark, but that hasn't stopped the speculation. The fact that her twin sister would say something so inflammatory has forced fans and analysts alike to ask uncomfortable questions. Is there tension between Clark and the veterans? Is this a reflection of deeper locker room issues the team isn't ready to admit? In professional sports, perception is reality, and whether the Fever like it or not, Chelsea Mitchell's Facebook comment created a perception that this team isn't on the same page. And once those questions start getting asked, they don't just go away. To understand why a single Facebook comment from Chelsea Mitchell sparked such outrage, you have to understand what Caitlin Clark represents, not just to the Indiana Fever, but to the entire WNBA. Clark is more than a rookie. She's a phenomenon. She's the reason thousands of fans pack arenas across the country, the reason broadcast ratings have shattered records, and the reason the Fever, a franchise that hadn't made the playoffs since 2016, are suddenly a primetime topic. But with that spotlight comes tension. Since joining the Fever, Clark has averaged impressive numbers despite constant double teams and relentless physical defense. Her shooting range warps the floor, her passing unlocks opportunities for teammates, and her gravitational pull as an offensive weapon has reshaped how opponents scout Indiana. Yet, instead of universal praise, she's often met with skepticism, some of it external, some of it internal. When Chelsea Mitchell claimed the team could win without Clark, but Clark couldn't win without them, it revealed a simmering belief that Clark is getting too much credit. But here's the reality. This team, with Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston already on the roster, was 18 of 58 across the 2 seasons before Clark arrived. They were bottom dwellers in every major category. Since adding Clark, they're hovering around 500 and fighting for a playoff spot. Yes, Kelsey Mitchell is a proven scorer, averaging nearly 20 points per game.
That makes me wonder.
Yes, Boston is a former Rookie of the Year with all-star potential. But both players have benefited enormously from Clark's presence.
Locker room right now
when Clark is on the floor, defenses are forced to collapse on her, creating cleaner looks for everyone else. When she's off the court, the Fever's offensive efficiency drops noticeably. The numbers don't lie, and yet the resentment lingers. This isn't new in sports. When a generational talent walks into a struggling locker room and instantly becomes the face of the franchise, there's often friction. Even if unspoken, the feeling that years of hard work are being overshadowed by a rookie's media coverage can fester. Chelsea Mitchell's comment wasn't just about basketball. It was about recognition, power dynamics, and the invisible hierarchy of credit. And that's why it hit a nerve. Because no matter what the box score says, there's a psychological cost when one player becomes the story and everyone else becomes a footnote. In professional sports, the line between team chemistry and chaos is thinner than most people realize. The Indiana Fever entered this season with momentum, finally boasting a roster that could contend, finally drawing national eyes thanks to Caitlin Clark's arrival. But what should have been a season defined by growth and cohesion is now at risk of being overshadowed by unnecessary distractions. And the biggest culprit? Not a player, not a coach, but a Facebook comment from a family member. Chelsea Mitchell's social media activity didn't just stir up fan outrage, it created a media narrative, a storyline the team now has to address whether they like it or not. From a franchise perspective, that's a disaster. Every minute players spend answering questions about team dynamics or off-court noise is a minute they're not focused on game plans, execution, or staying mentally sharp. For a young team trying to establish itself as a playoff contender, distractions are poison. The WNBA schedule is relentless. The physicality is high. The margin for error is razor thin. And chemistry matters a lot. When teammates start second-guessing one another or when resentment creeps into the locker room, it shows up in the stat sheet. Missed rotations, forced shots, hesitations on switches. It might not be obvious at first, but that kind of mental wear and tear accumulates fast. And here's where it gets dangerous. This situation has the potential to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more media attention it gets, the more questions are asked. The more questions are asked, the more players feel the pressure to either defend themselves or stay silent. Silence can be read as guilt, defensiveness as conflict. Suddenly, you're not just playing the game, you're playing defense in the court of public opinion. Kelsey Mitchell has been put in an impossible position. Publicly, she's done everything right. She's praised Clark, committed to the franchise long-term, and never once hinted at any personal conflict. But now, thanks to her sister's impulsive Facebook comment, she's at the center of a controversy she didn't create, and that puts stress on every relationship inside the locker room. The Fever aren't just fighting for a playoff spot anymore. They're fighting to keep their focus, to keep the main thing the main thing. If they let social media noise fracture the trust that's been building all season, they risk losing more than just games. They risk losing their identity as a team on the rise. In the end, this controversy wasn't about a Facebook comment. It was about control. Control over the narrative, control over team identity, and control over the spotlight in a franchise that has lived in obscurity for years until Caitlin Clark came along. It's a case study in what happens when ego, family loyalty, and media attention collide in the tight-knit world of professional sports.
In that locker room
Kelsey
right now
Mitchell
that
did nothing wrong.
Know about.
Caitlin Clark said nothing controversial. And yet, both players are now forced to carry the burden of off-court noise that has nothing to do with their on-court production. The Fever should be celebrating their best season in years, focusing on building chemistry and chasing a playoff spot. Instead, they're stuck in the vortex of a manufactured controversy that risks fracturing everything they've worked for. If there's one thing this moment teaches us, it's that success brings scrutiny, and scrutiny brings distractions. And unless a team has the maturity to keep those distractions in check, it can all fall apart fast. Let's be clear, Caitlin Clark is not just changing the trajectory of the Indiana Fever. She's reshaping the entire WNBA. Her impact is measurable in wins, in revenue, in ratings, and in relevance. But she's also facing the kind of pressure and backlash that no rookie should have to navigate alone. So, whether you're Team Clark, Team Mitchell, or just a fan of good basketball, one thing's for sure. Drama off the court will never be more important than performance on it. And if the Fever want to reach their full potential, they'll need to unify fast, ignore the noise, and start acting like the playoff-caliber team they've been building toward all season. Thanks for watching. If you want real talk about the WNBA, no fluff, no fake headlines, just deep dives and bold truths, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Her Hoops. New videos every day. Your support keeps the stories alive. Let's grow the game together.